When I started writing music, I started with the classical forms, the ones that I were most familiar with. What I really enjoyed doing when I was younger was I found out what fugues were. So the fugues have a theme, and then they have a counter subject, and then in between those there's little episodes where you can develop your theme idea. So there's a back and forth, you hear the themes and then you hear the development a little bit, and there's a back and forth played there to this pattern. And I found it really enjoyable. I really like the counterpoint, which is the two melodic lines working together. And I also really enjoyed the structure, which was the patterns that you could see A, B, A, B, A, B coming back like that. Music is made of patterns. Everything around the world is patterns. And music has its own patterns. There's the small micro patterns all the way to the macro pattern. So I was really fascinated with fugues for the longest time, but I didn't really know how to write them. I only knew about fugues for the piano. And then I just sat down and really wrote a fugue for a guitar back in 2008 in the summer, and that worked out really well. But the only problem is that you can only have maximum 3 voices at the guitar at one point, and the keys that you can use in the guitar are a little bit limited if you want to use your open strings and help you to get that. So a lot of composers, what they've done is they've used 2 guitars to do their fugues, because with 2 guitars, of course, you have only 2 voices to handle for each. If you say you want to do a 4-voice fugue, then you only have 2 voices. One guitarist does 2 voices, the other one does the other 2 voices. And then it's much easier to go into different keys or go off and explore different ideas. So I had this idea for this fugue that I wanted to do in E major, which is really a good key for the guitar, but at one guitar, I don't think I could do the 4-voice fugue that I wanted to write. And then finally, I just came back to this idea, and then, I have this 4-voice fugue, this idea for this 4-voice fugue for guitar. Let's just make it with 2 guitars. And then, Blast from the Past, I went back and finished the fugue that I'd started a long time ago when I was really fascinated with this structure. So let's look into the different parts that make up this fugue in E major. The first thing that you're going to hear in a fugue is the subject, and it's going to be announced by a voice. So the voices are the different parts in the fugue. So you can have 3, 4, sometimes 5 different voices. I think the most common are 3 or 4. And in this one, there is a 4-voice fugue, so there are 4 different parts that play at the same time. Then after that, we hear the answer, and the answer is in B major. So it will start in B. It's a 5th apart, and it's a 5th higher than how the subject just started off. And then you can hear the other voice add an answer to that. So it's not really a counter subject, because it's just the counter subject would have to repeat on the other same voices. So say if I play a counter subject when the subject is playing, I also have to repeat that counter subject when another voice is playing. In this case, I didn't use a counter subject. It's just an answer. So it plays at the same time as you hear the subject in the different key. So this is how it sounds like with the subject and the answer. And then after that, I play the subject in the other 2 voices. So the subject gets heard back in the home key again, back in E, but very low this time. And actually, I had to tune down the 6th string to get the low D sharp. This also made it impossible, I think, for me to just play the 4-voice fugue on one instrument, because I had to tune down the 6th string. So I think it would have been a little bit difficult to have it all on one instrument. It's just easier to break it up with 2 instruments. And then after that, we're going to hear the subject in the 4th voice one last time, and it's going to be played in B major. Then after that, there is an episode, so there is the development. of the between where the two voices are going to announce the subject. So the episodes are something that develop the idea of the theme, but they don't necessarily have to hear the theme. So let's have a listen to the fugue in E major. So that's it. That's all for the video today. That's all I've got for you. Thanks very much for watching. And let me know what you think in the comments. Also, the piece that I just played for you, the Fugue in E major, will be available on distribution platforms at some point in time in the very near future. It's actually the first time that I've distributed a piece of music, so I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen or when it's going to be up, but it should be available for streaming very soon. And yeah, it's the first time I've done it, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to happen. But it's really exciting, and it sets the stage for a bigger musical distribution that I want to do very soon. Alright, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.